following today's lesson. Here. And the name is Paul's Pastoral Appeal. Something a little different. But we are not going to start directly with the lesson because something happened last Monday that called for the attention of a lot of people in the United States.
The eclipse.
Oh, the eclipse. Yeah. So, did some of you participated in the event?
On TV.
On TV. Yeah. This is one of the images that show the full eclipse that we couldn't have seen in this area. That is called the ring, right? The diamond ring. And it was sparkling. But really, we was so much talk about it, and people getting the famous glasses that in some places were given away, but in others they were sold for quite enough money. But they were different kind of glasses. Even some to cover the eyes of your loved pets. And some people spend lots of money getting expensive equipment, while others, this is the son of one of my professors, did something more homemade, and that it seems it worked well too. But many people travel, and I have friends who went for like a mini vacation just to see the eclipse of a few days, trying to get the better spots available. This was also an opportunity for making a little money if you were a business person. This is a pastor in Oregon and his wife. He work very comfortable at their own home. Jose Cortez, who works for the North American division, and he was prepared with his two sons. And you probably saw this picture, right? Another photo opportunity. And you know what? I had the other photo that when President Trump looked at the sun without the glasses, but I couldn't find the photo of this. Okay, so many people, long lines. This is the Griffith Observatory in LA. Some had their own agenda, like pleading for unity. This is even a voodoo priest that had her own things that related to the eclipse. And I cannot explain this. But everybody seems to have had a good time just getting ready for the event, because really the moment was just a couple of minutes, right? But in some areas where the eclipse was total, there were large multitudes, and people are rejoicing, probably in family, having great expectations. And you know what? The sun and the moon, this is my friend Connie from Oregon. She's both of them, couple, good lay missionaries. But the sun and the moon did their part. And there are all kind of pictures, except from the places where the clouds got out of the way and spoiled the fun. But according to the equipment, so many different pictures, even with the things that the children were preparing. And it was really nice to watch on TV. Yeah. The NASA pictures were the best ones, right? You cannot avoid thinking, what a great God that we have. Yeah. And to praise His name when we see the universe. That's another view of the diamond ring. Look at that, isn't that great?
Yeah. Awesome.
You know that we will be able to travel through space and see wonderful things like this, or like this. But this is the one picture that I love the most. What do you think about that? So, why do I show this? Can we relate this to the lesson? I think we can, because you know, when I saw all the enthusiasm of the people and the people looking up, oh, there are some images that come to my mind. And there was that joyful mood. I don't know about other countries, but at least in the United States, something big was going to happen. Do we still have that mood? It was this week, it was Monday. Only, what, 4 days, 5 days after? If I haven't shown you this, you probably have forgotten about it. And that's what happened with the Galatians, right? They had that great joy when Paul was talking to them and giving them those feelings. And then Paul left, and others came and started infiltrating, asking questions, planting doubts. And then we get to the point that Paul has to write the letter to the Galatians. So we are back to the lesson now. Galatians 4:12, that verse. Friends, I beg you. That's why the lesson, this week lesson is called Paul's Pastoral Appeal. I beg you, because I love you. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to beg to you that you listen to me and you recognize that what I told you before was so important. And become as I am, because and we are going to go in detail on all this. For I also have become as you are. Oh, I like this verse. We have a lot to think about it. So, at the beginning of the letters, we find Paul making theologically sophisticated arguments to persuade. But now, no, get it in the personal thing. First, he was the teacher, the theologian. Now he is the friend, your father, the spiritual father, your pastor. So he was not, in these verses, he's not correct in theology. He is seeking to minister to those whom he loved. You know, and we should, everything that we read in the Sabbath school lesson, we should apply it to ourselves. So when we do ministry, when we talk to others, do we do it as a theologian? We are gonna instruct you in doctrine. Or we do it as somebody who loves the person, as a real friend. I think that's important. And of course, there are going to be moments in which we can be theologians also and explain doctrine. But what has to be first? Am I the only one who's going to talk today?
No.
What has to be first? The friendship. The looking at the needs of the person, to try to know them a little. Okay, so the heart of Paul. The letter doesn't say, but do you believe that when he was writing the letter, he was remembering the people that he had known at the time? Well, maybe not everybody, and there will be many new, and some probably had moved or died. But for Paul, that experience was important. So, I believe that his heart was bound up with the lives of the ones that he had met there. I know that they were in danger now. Spiritually, it has to hurt a lot. Is that our experience? Is our experience with members who were members of, ex-members of this church, or your church, or maybe your family, that they were Adventist once and they are not, and they are, or they may say they are Adventist, but they are not attending, or they are not doing, or they are doing things that make us sad, because there are indications that they are not as faithful as they were before. So does our heart aches at those times? Well, I have two sons. One is a pastor, Adventist pastor, and the other one is not attending church for a long time now. And I love them both.
Amen.
And my little one sometimes does some things that I get so surprised. He's so nice, such a nice person. And my heart aches. I cannot say who's going to be saved and who's not, but my heart aches. So I can relate to Paul. He believes they are the spiritual children. And now he's like experiencing labor, pains, he says. Do you recognize those? Those bellies growing, and then the pain of delivering that child. And it has to be hard when Paul got to Galatians and it was nothing, if it was nothing there, and I'm pretty sure it could have been that there were pockets of people. But anyway, you go to strange territory, and in many occasions he was stoned, put in jail, flogged, etc., etc. Let's not just start comparing what is the biggest pain, but it's a process of suffering. But now he's suffering all over again. And maybe he's suffering more because they already had the truth. So it's like their responsibility is bigger in front of the Lord. Okay.
But I think they had the truth, but the truth didn't happen. And that's what made the difference. You can say that you have the truth, but if Jesus doesn't have you, it's just in vain. There's nothing there. And that's why Paul he doesn't see them like just an acquaintance or just bodies. No, he sees them as the children of God, and like you said, he feels like they're his flock because he's preaching them to them as a loving pastor. He cares for them. He's like the good shepherd. The good shepherd, if a lion or a wolf comes to attack his animals, he's going to fight till death to defend them. But the hireman, the one who they pay him to look after them, he's not going to fight for them. He's going to take up and run for his life. And this is what Paul is doing. Paul is taking the role of the good shepherd too.
And I'm pretty sure he wants to do more, but is he able to? The shackles that he's wearing?
Paul was, he was like a father to the Galatians. And now he had taught them, and he said they wanted to give out their very eyes to him because they were taking in what he had taught them. And even though he got sick, but still he was concerned about them because he said, "What happened? You don't remember? You don't remember your first love? You don't remember how you were so anxious to look at me like Christ? And what happened now?" Paul's teachers came in and gave them some easy teaching.
Okay, very good. So, one of the things that Paul wants is to be like him, but not like in the way that Paul acts. No copying the things that Paul does. He wants, well, he may want that too, but he wants their heart to be like him, their relationship to the Lord to be like Paul's relationship with Christ. A radical transformation into the likeness of Christ. Wow.
I think what he wants them to have is a change of heart. You need a new heart and a new spirit when you recognize they were not recognizing their simple situation. Maybe they were not aware, maybe they didn't want it to, but once, like King David recognized how bad was his situation when he was away from God, what did he do? He went to the feet of the cross and right away he claimed, "God, give me a new heart and renew a new spirit within me." Because if we don't ask, God cannot give it to us. We need to ask.
Okay. So, how do you know when you got the transformation? Look at the last part. People will look at you and see Christ in you. Wow. That's the transformation. that we should ask for and work for. And first I was looking for a picture to show this, and I got the first one about mission, doing mission. But then I said, no, because that is more to copy what Paul was doing. The other picture is better. To get closer to the Lord. And then you will be doing mission with joy.
Instead of being a duty, it will become a pleasure doing
it will be a fruit, the fruit of the Spirit working in us, right? So, that's the question at the bottom of the lesson. We need to apply those questions to us. What is the first question? In what ways have you seen the character of Christ manifested in your life? We need to meditate on that. And in what areas I still need to grow? And from that point, we keep working. So the challenge to become, that's another of the questions. I don't know, I went too far, and the time is going. Alicia, hurry up. So he wants us to imitate his behavior like in, earn your own living and not be a burden to others, and place the welfare of others first. Are we doing that? But becoming as he is just that union with Christ and that joy and others seeing Christ in him. So Paul wanted them to enjoy the love, joy, freedom, and certainty of salvation that he was feeling. Do you feel that?
Amen. By the grace of God.
By the grace of God. Well, if we don't, there is something missing. There is something that we need to grow in our faith.
Well, I believe that every day that God grants us is an opportunity to grow.
Okay.
It's an opportunity to grow because we take one day at a time, because tomorrow is not guaranteed. Yesterday is gone, but today is what counts.
And others, there are people around us who can help us. The lesson, please don't miss those questions at the bottom, was asking us, do you know somebody who sets a good example?
Yes.
Of course, nobody's perfect. We all have our weaknesses, and we don't have to find somebody and base our faith on what that person does or say.
On a human being.
Of human beings. But there are human beings around us who are good examples and can help us grow, and we should take advantage of that. Do we tell them that? Yeah, let's try to do that.
Or sometimes we have our brothers and sisters that have a closer walk with God, and by the way they live, we get comfortable sometimes just spending time with them or asking them a question because we see that they're trying to live a godly life.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's go quickly. The part where Paul says, I have become as you are. Right now, they were doubtful, they were doing things they shouldn't, they were far from what they have learned, but that's not what Paul means. He means he had changed. Remember how he was before?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. And now he was more understanding. He understood the Gentiles. He accepted many things that they were doing instead of rejecting.
Dr. Alicia, I believe that when Paul was on his way to Damascus, for the first time, he was blinded with that strong light that blinded him. But I believe for the first time in his life, spiritually speaking, his eyes were open.
Well, and he learned, and he had another period of time to learn that he learned how to contextualize things. And see the big picture and trying to help and trying to understand and adapt within certain limits, right? Yes?
Right.
And we should do that too, especially when we become such a multicultural, worldwide church. Last Thursday we had a meeting here, the board members of the Hope Church and the board members of the Desert Hot Springs Church and the officials from the conference. And we are going to start talking about how we can work better together for the community. And there are going to be things that we will need to adapt to and to talk about and to negotiate. But it's going to be wonderful if we have the same spirit that Paul had, and the same vision, and the same mission. So, the lesson I copied just from there, and I like this. It's so easy to compromise, isn't it, with your own life? Sometimes the longer one is a Christian, the easier compromise gets too. And I can see that in people who were such a solid leaders, and then for different reasons they start tumbling down. Well, why that might be so? Look at yourself honestly. The lesson is telling that. How much compromise has crept into your life? And what has been the ways you have justified it? Because that's what we do. We always have an excuse. How can you turn around in areas in which you need to do so? That needs meditation with prayer. I was going to put Jesus in the cross and say, that's why you have to do it. He did the sacrifice. But I changed my mind. And you were talking about the pastor, and meditate how the love of God should help you not to change your ways that you believe that's the correct way into devious, maybe little changes. We start usually with little changes, maybe in the way we keep the Sabbath or other things. It's so easy to go astray or to allow the other people who want to tempt you to do the work. Yes?
I think one of the things that we as human beings need to comprehend and understand is that every day we need to make time to spend time with the scriptures and with the Word of God and get to know Him personally. At first it's tedious, at first it's boring, But I noticed the more you ask for wisdom, and you don't have to spend the whole day on your knees. No, just make a certain time. For me, the best time is early in the morning, at 3 o'clock in the morning, from 3 to 4. Everything is quiet, I can concentrate, I can meditate. And the more I ask him, the more I get to know him, the more I understand a little bit more how to do things in a positive way for that day.
Okay. It doesn't matter if it's at 3 in the morning or any time,
Yes.
but
What works
find
for
your
you?
time
Yeah.
and try to enjoy it the most possible. And if you have a problem at the beginning, ask for help.
Yes.
But this could be the best help you
Yes.
get. Just sit down, pray,
Yes.
ask the Holy Spirit to
Yes.
guide your study.
Yes.
And if you don't have one of these, we can provide you with one. Okay, so Paul goes back to the time that he met the Galatians, and they were good things that they did for him. Remember? They treat him well. He went to them sick. We don't know exactly what, but it was something big. I believe that it could have been his eyes. We know he had a problem with that. But it was something physical that could be seen by others. And my mind went to this idea. You have a leader, right, who's talking to you about the power of his God. But the God doesn't heal him. And maybe he teaches the Galatians how to pray. And they pray for him, for Paul, because they love Paul. But Paul doesn't get healed. What would that do to your faith? I have this new leader teaching me all these great things, but he is still sick. So in my mind, the only way that could make that illness acceptable to the newcomer is if the attitude of Paul carrying that burden and showing them that even in the worst situation, God is working.
Amen.
That's what I think. So, but it was nice. Paul has some harsh words for them too. Not hard, but
Strong words.
I have something to tell you. This is something serious. And we do have that sometimes, right? To do that to people. I think that's one of the worst things to do. Like me, I'm a therapist, and sometimes the client doesn't cooperate, and I want to tell them, listen, you need to change. I can't do it like that. I have to find a way that is going to help the client, not to say, forget about it. I'm paying money for you to treat me that way. So if we ever are in that situation, please pray before talking. Don't stay quiet. That's worse. I know so many people that are seeing a problem and seeing somebody really doing something that is gonna be a big little problem later, but they don't say anything. They don't want to be involved. No, you need to be involved, but you need to do it correctly,
That's
nicely,
wisdom from God.
showing the love of God. So the question, how can you learn to let your trials and suffering make you lean more upon the Lord instead of getting away from the Lord, rebel? That's for us to think. And Jesus had to be strong in the way he talked many times. Yes?
Yes.
With the Pharisees?
Yes.
But with the people who were really suffering, was he harsh?
No.
Not at all.
Yeah.
So, do you remember any incidents where your words caused pain to somebody? Probably, if you started thinking. And it could be that that was the best we could do at the time. We didn't know better. Our intention was good. It came out wrong.
It's even with my granddaughter. I was talking to her yesterday, and what I told her, she said, "Grandma, you don't have to say it like that." I said, "You know why I say it like that? Because I love you." At that moment, I love you. That's why I say it that way.
Please let always the love show. Oh yes, and remember that very soon we are not going to be needing glasses, but we are going to be looking up, and there are going to be things happening in space. Oh, more powerful and more beautiful than the show that we had on Monday. And everybody will be involved. We are all going to see it because our Lord is in charge of all the planets, the sun and the moon and the stars. And he's going to come back with all his angels. And you know the rest of the story. So let's have this kind of eclipse.
Amen.
How do you like it? In our heart and to share with others. So have a great week. Remember the concepts that we spoke about. Enjoy your lessons this week and come prepared to share your thoughts in Sabbath school. God bless you.
Amen.